I love the bits we do before these, John, which is me, not a perfectionist, but sorting out cables, sorting out angles. Here we are again. We are now episode 3 of Diary with the original Fall Guy, John Cheetham,
Yeah,
and a lot's happening, and we've chosen to chronicle that journey. And
yeah,
this is officially what they call a vlog, a video log, because we are video logging the journey for all of the aspects and projects and outlets, to use a word that you used the other day, of Fall Guy.
yeah,
So that's why we're doing this. So in episode 3, of course, that directly tells people there's episode 2 and episode 1. So check those out because that will give people a journey of what's happened so far. And also we'll share a little bit of that which is to come. So I think the place to begin makes sense. I've got my diary here, the big red book as we call it. I'm not
yeah.
Michael Aspel, I'm not Pippenek, it's looking a bit grubby, isn't it?
Eamon
Eamon
Andrews.
Andrews, that's it, you and I go back that far. It's looking a bit flipping grubby. Bloody hell, I need a new one. Thank goodness we're getting towards 2025, yeah? So, tell us a little bit about last week, some of the things that happened, and tell us a little bit about next week, but also the week after, and there's a reason for that. So let's begin with last week. What things happened in our diary?
Um, we had a podcast in Cheshire. We had a couple of meetings. We got a very interesting phone call,
Mhm.
and that phone call has led to other dates
Mhm.
going in the diary. You got a couple of emails
Yep.
confirming other dates in your diary. Your diary's worn out. Um,
Absolutely. And this is going into next year as well. Some of
yeah.
the dates, yep, yep,
So yeah, I think it was fairly busy week.
yeah,
I drove down to Oxford on the Wednesday.
yep,
Come back Thursday night, Friday. Actually, Friday. I drove down Thursday, came back Friday.
yeah,
Um, that was a great meeting that
yeah.
moves us forward. So yeah, a lot going on.
Absolutely. And added to that, just to put an extra bit on top of what you've already said, which sounds enough as it is, recording studio. So
Yes,
you and
on
I
the
were in the recording
Wednesday.
on the Wednesday,
Yeah,
yeah. So you
yeah.
travelled on the Thursday, that's right, wasn't it? Down south, that's
Thursday,
it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
again, this is good for us, even though going backwards doesn't matter because that's happened. So we don't overly have to get that bit right. It's the bit of the future thing, the other
yeah.
appointments. We have to make sure we get the days right. So so that doesn't overly matter. But I think that's an illustration of what you said about my diary being worn. And in some ways, both of us being worn, polished. Polished maybe is a better word. That's coming to me now in the experience in terms of the energy and effort that's going into this. And I and
Yeah,
I want to just share just a moment there that when people are watching what we're doing, social media platforms, what we do, Facebook, Instagram, a little bit more growing in TikTok, what we're doing here in YouTube, what we're doing behind the scenes that people don't see. Yeah.
yeah,
Whilst it looks incredible and it is incredible, we're actually needing and we're actually at the point where we require even more support. You know,
yeah,
without going into detail, you're having to make changes in your life
yeah,
um, because of the size and the scale of what's happening.
yeah,
And at the moment, you're in a position where, yes, the future possibilities of what are happening are unfolding,
yeah.
but they haven't unfolded yet. So,
No,
so you're in that kind of midpoint of needing to invest a lot of time and money in
yeah,
what's happening. So it all I'm sharing is it's not a poverty mindset. It's not a poverty call out. It perhaps at times looks incredible because it is, but
yeah,
we still welcome support. we
Oh,
still
of
welcome
course.
support. Yeah,
I think we always will. No
absolutely.
matter what level you get to in life, you still need support.
Totally.
You still need the anchors there
Yeah.
to stop you falling.
Yeah. Yeah. And that we're finding as well that people are coming on board. So a couple of behind the scenes things. I'll give a little offering to next week.
Yeah,
I won't mention any names yet,
no,
but I am in the recording studio tomorrow and Tuesday.
yeah,
And one of the tracks on Fall Guy, we'll go back to our recording studio experience in a moment. One of the tracks on Fall Guy is going to have a vocal, highly likely, recorded, performed on Tuesday for the vinyl
yes,
album.
yes, yeah.
So things are moving ahead and in an incredible way. So talk a little bit about your experience in the recording studio. And I videoed a couple of bits of us being there.
The recording studio for the day.
Hmm.
I think we got back at like 7 in the evening from a 9 a.m. start. So it was a full day. Um, you recorded a couple of songs all the way through,
Yeah.
and my voice was added to a couple of songs during the song on one,
Yeah.
and at the end on the other.
Yeah. And I have a desired outcome for you. You may even be able to say it now, and I might be able to utilize it in this moment. I've not prepared you for this, which is on one version of a song, Cry, on the
Yeah,
version that's released, that's public, everybody knows about. Michelle says, representing your friend at the time who was saying to you, I want this now to end
yes,
in
yeah,
Cry. So I sing the vocal as if it's you singing your lyrics, your life.
yeah,
And then Michelle says, as if she was that friend at the time at
yeah,
Winkley Square,
yeah,
I want this now to end. So when you got back
yes,
from Bulgaria and the period of time after trying to rebuild your life.
yeah,
So we're turning that around in another version, which is effectively going to be that friend
yes,
singing Cry as if she's
yeah,
singing it to you.
yes,
So
yeah,
my vision now is this is where it's growing, John. Track 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12
yeah,
will all contain your voice.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, and it will get more as we move towards track 12 of the vinyl.
yes,
So the line is, I want this now to end.
yeah.
So in your own time and or now, without putting you on the spot, those are your words. How would you feel about saying that?
Fine. Yeah, I want this now to end. Yeah, it's fine. It's that was said to me as I was going down the hill in Winkley Square
Mm.
in the middle of winter on my crutches. So yeah, she was kind of trying to get my mindset to being positive,
Yeah.
which when you've been on crutches at that point for 9 months, it's quite hard. I mean, people break the leg, they're in car accidents, and they might be on crutches for 8 weeks, 10 weeks.
Yeah.
I was on their crutches that day for 9 months
Mm.
when she said that. And I had a further 3.5 years on crutches after that. So, yeah, it was quite a powerful kind of, come on, John, you got this.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And I didn't forget that.
no. And I guess an appeal as well that as somebody who's very close to you didn't want you to be experiencing the pain you're experiencing,
No,
which is a very human thing, isn't it? You
yeah,
know, that's not
because
that's not selfish of her. She just didn't want to see you going through the pain you were going through. So I want
no,
this now to end. Now, the
yeah,
vocalist, I am going to share this. She She was crying. She was crying last night. She was crying at the connection of the song in her
Right.
own experience of life. And that's the thing about Cry. It's your experience, but it's also a very, very universal song. Always has been, always
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah.
So that's why it's growing. That's why it's
Yeah.
growing. That's why other people are becoming involved. And that's where we go back to the support. Because if you ever, here's a question for you. I'm deviating again. You know me. You know how my brain works. It's like boom, 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 jumping around. Yeah. Have you ever missed a bus?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. Can you remember how it felt?
Uh,
As much as you can.
yeah, it's just the pain, isn't it? You think, oh God, I'm going to be late.
Yeah.
I missed the bus.
Yeah.
When's the next one? The timetables on the bus stops are ripped.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't see what time the next one is, and you're panicking even more. You're thinking, what do I do? Do I walk? Do I get a cab? Or do I just stand there and hope?
I feel a song coming on, Mr. John Cheetham.
I've
I,
wrote you one already
I know.
today.
I received that this morning, yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about that later as well, what that's leading to. But yeah, I thought that this morning. I thought the bus, if not the juggernaut, that we're in and we're on,
Yeah,
which is the Fall Guy project and everything that's happening around it. The message I'm sharing in this moment is don't miss the bus.
no,
Don't miss the bus. Because if people might be looking at it and thinking, oh, what's going on over there? Find out. Find out,
yeah,
ask, become involved, because we welcome more people in so many ways. And the vinyl that we talked a little about,
yeah,
here's the message, pure and simple. It's probably going to retail at around about 25 quid, there or thereabouts,
yeah,
when it's printed. We're
yeah,
likely to only get about 1,000 printed initially.
yeah,
That could, of course, change, but then there's budgets in that costs money to get those printed. So the message I'm sharing here and now is 25 quid, pre-order yourself a vinyl. So the GoFundMe creates the opportunity for you to do that. So that's possibly even more direct than I've shared in the past. We will have links here. The QR code will be here. They'll be in the description. 25 quid. And what you're doing is you're investing in the completed vinyl soundtrack album, which is a year-long work.
yes,
It's taken a year to get to the point we're getting to. So that's incredible, including a female version of Cry. Am I okay to mention names?
yeah, of course.
So Cry in brackets, Emma's song.
Yeah,
So it's Emma, your friend at the time,
yeah,
and her to you, and you saying, I want this now to end.
yeah,
And that's just a turn of the thought and the lyric, and then that grows into Fall Guy the guitar bridge, that grows into an acoustic version of Thoughts, that grows into another version of Fall Guy, which is John's
yeah,
final word. So I'm giving little bits away now. But it's an incredible album. It's absolutely exceptional. So there's a lot going on around that at the moment. Last week, your spoken word, there'll be images of you at the microphone. Yesterday, we went to HMV Blackpool,
yes.
posters up. Tell us a little bit about that. When's that and what's up?
So HMV Blackpool, we got some posters done, and we went there,
Mm.
and we were allowed to put the poster up on the wall of sound, as I call it.
Perfect.
Yeah, various posters from various musicians that have been there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the wall of sound on the first floor, and that's letting people know that 9th of November we're there again. So you singing, I'm there being me, and we've got Dexter Briggs there.
Excellent.
Amazing guitarist, only 15.
Yeah.
He's like a walking, talking Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page. He's got it all going on, the boy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, great day. 1 p.m., 9th of November, first floor, HMV Blackpool. Be there.
Absolutely. I'm going to be bringing the piano that's behind me, so it's not just a keyboard, it's an electric piano. I tend to often sing with a backing track, not perform musically live, because certain historical reasons of my voice, it enables me to focus on here and what I'm doing with my voice. But we're doing things differently. And what
Yeah,
I'm doing is I'll be performing a couple of songs that you and I have written.
yeah,
One in particular jumps to mind, which is not just because I'm involved in it, it's one of the most incredible songs I've ever heard. And lyrically, it's absolutely amazing. And I'll be performing that on the 9th. I'll share this probably on the day as well. It will be copyrighted, just in case anybody's thinking of stealing it. All the best with
yeah,
that. It will be protected up to 5 million quid by a copyright license. And the reason I share that is because it's so good. And all of our songs are. So we're going to share some songs that we've already written,
yeah,
some that we've written but haven't actually shared yet.
yes,
And there's also going to be a live and on the spot song. And
yes,
you sent me some lyrics this morning. Yeah.
yeah,
Now, I'm not going to read those
no,
because they may actually appear in the song on the day, but
yeah,
also you're actually highly likely to, because of who you are and what you do, you're likely to write some lyrics there and then. And that's
yes,
what I'm also opening up to the audience that come. No pressure. Nobody
no,
will be made to feel right now, right now.
no,
Yeah, I need words right now. It will just be if somebody has something coming to them, and
yeah,
that's the chemistry and the alchemy.
yeah,
That's the mixture of us as human beings coming together. So that's some of what we're offering on November the 9th. Now, what has that now spiraled to for next year? So we are going way, way ahead in the diary.
yes,
Now, what has that now spiraled to for next year? So we are going way, way ahead in the diary.
yes. So February next year, your performances at HMV Blackpool have brought you or us a date at HMV in Bury
Yep,
in February.
22nd, 22nd
Yes,
of February. So I'm encouraging people. Michelle said earlier she knows somebody who's got a contact with Berry Radio.
yeah,
So I'm reaching out in this podcast also to them, and I will be finding out that point of contact because we'll
yeah.
be there. The female vocalist that I've talked about could possibly likely be there at that event as well.
Amazing,
And it's
amazing.
likely going to be that date is the beginning of or roundabout the launch of the vinyl soundtrack album.
Yes, yeah,
So I've got to say it again. I don't have to, but I'm going to. Get on the bus. Get on the bus. Join us. Be with us. Because this is left. It's not leaving. It's left. It's left in a way, but it is stopping at different places along the way.
yeah,
So all you've got to do is catch up with a bus, which is easy to do because we'll stop for you if you let us know,
yes,
and then you can come on board. And that's where the vinyl comes in. That's the GoFundMe. There's Kickstarters. There's crowdfunding. Is that by that £25, people are paying in advance for the completed album, and enabling us also to contribute towards the printing of the album, which is thousands of pounds.
yes,
So
yeah,
we still welcome that support, even though we're making incredible progress. We need that support.
yeah.
That's not
Well,
desperation. That's just reality.
what we've said before is in the 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s, when a band were going to release an album, they got funding from their fan clubs.
Yeah. Yep.
That's exactly what they use. And a GoFundMe is basically a fan club.
Absolutely.
So have a look at that. get on board and help, and we'll get that album out.
I love that. Get on board. I love that. That's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And it will be an incredible experience for the people that join, because I know it is for me. Um, I'm sure it is for you. So before we go into a little bit of a snippet introduction of episode 4, because episode 4 is going to be special next week. They're all
Yeah,
special, but it's
yeah,
going to be where it was recorded, how it was put together, and a very, very even deeper insight into your life and what
yeah,
happened in Bulgaria and the events that led up to that. I want to kind of jump ahead because that's next weekend, which
yeah,
is, let me get this right, um, or the lead up to the following weekend. We're actually going to be at a meeting down south when episode 4 of Diary is aired. So
yes,
there are going to be things over the next couple of weeks that I'm not going to be able to share through our diary publicly.
no, no,
Yeah. But talk as much as you can a little bit about the 11th of November and 12th
yeah.
of November, our travels.
Okay, so we received a phone call whilst we were in Cheshire, and to not interrupt the podcast that we were doing there,
Mm,
we chose to listen to the recorded phone call on the way home.
mm,
And the recorded phone call is a massive step forward
yeah,
for the whole Fall Guy project.
yeah,
Obviously, until that meeting has taken place, we can't really actually reveal all. But let's just say that my book, Fall Guy, my life account of what happened in Fall Guy, is about to hit the big screen.
yeah, yeah. And that was a go. It's on.
Yeah,
It's happening. It was that was the direct thing that was said.
yes,
Not we'd like to talk about the possibility of it. We're on for it, but we
yeah,
need to meet to discuss the details of that.
yes,
And again, I want to emphasize to the audience that there is still the opportunity for people to get involved in terms of supporting this diary,
yeah,
subscribing, commenting. Um, we've already mentioned the GoFundMe. Make a pre-order of the vinyl album. We've also mentioned we are in Blackpool, HMV, on the 9th of November, 1 p.m. on the first floor. So
yeah,
if people are in the local area and or would like to travel, you can join us in an incredible experience of songs that have already been written, songs that have already been written and released, songs that have been written that haven't even yet been heard and released, and also an on-the-spot song.
yeah,
So that's chemistry, that's alchemy, that's us coming together in a very, very creative space environment. And that's also going to spiral into next year as well. So there's loads of stuff going on there. Is there anything that I've missed? We're together. We're together next Friday, aren't we? The first, because we're looking to pin down dates. I'm going to say it, John. I'm going to say it. Oldham Rugby Club, because
yes,
Oldham Rugby Club have agreed in principle to us doing an evening with the original Fall Guy, John Cheetham,
yeah, yeah,
which we're yet to firm the dates. So
yes,
watch this space, because we will be announcing through here what those dates are. And likely, if we don't hear before, because you might even know today, if we don't hear before, then we're looking to directly go,
yeah,
and pin down
yeah.
those dates. Anything on top of that, John?
No, that date we've got a radio show in Oldham
Oh, well remembered.
towards the end of November.
23rd, 23rd
Yeah,
of November.
23rd of
Yeah,
November,
yeah,
and we're hoping on that show to give everybody the date that we've got the evening with at the rugby club.
Yeah. And again, a shout out to Berry, that we will be looking for a venue around that time, around that area, to do an evening with the original Fall Guy to coincide with that HMV performance.
Yes.
Because this is part of what we're doing. And in the new year, there's likely going to be a reprint of Fall Guy the book.
Yes.
And then we're going to be moving towards Waterstone's other book outlets to go around and do a mini tour of the book. So these are the things that are happening. So now, those that are watching and listening, I think begin to get some scalability idea of how big this is. And whether it's radio stations, whether it's bookstores, whether it's locations for us to do the evenings, whether it's other HMV outlets and or vinyl record stores, independent stores, we're looking to connect with people because it is growing. That's what's led us to Bury HMV, because it's going to grow nationally, and we're beginning to do that together. So watch this space, in Mr. John Cheetham's words. Get on board, comment, like, subscribe. The comments really, really matter to us, and let us know where you are. Reach out to us, support us, give us ideas of ways that we can connect with you, shine a light on what you do. And who's driving, John?
I don't know. It's normally you.
Perfect answer. That is a perfect answer. We're both kind of in quite a literal sense. We're driving. We take it in turns when we travel down south, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good arrangement. It's quite tiring driving long distances. We do that, but in terms of the project, I would suggest it's definitely you, but I actually feel it has got to the point where we don't actually know who's driving this. It is beyond us, with a series of events that are unraveling. So this is not going to stop, and that's where we're saying get on board, join us, become involved in ways perhaps that we haven't even considered yet. And reach out to us, and the more the merrier, because this is the life of John, and a man who lived everything you lived, without support around you, and now's the opportunity to redress that with the human spirit that we have. Prepare yourself for next week, recorded at Cheshire Podcasts, and it's an amazing discussion with John, and it goes into even more detail of John's experience. So it's a very, very special diary, because it's going back to what you went through. Welcome to Diary with the Original Fall Guy, and this is a particularly different episode. I think we're going to be possibly episode 3 or 4, and you can see where we are. We're at Cheshire Podcast Studios, and an incredible place to be. And I am now going to introduce that I am with the original Fall Guy, John Cheetham. How are you doing, John?
I'm fine, Ray. You?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, so we're kind of used to doing this.
Yes.
Talking. We're used to talking.
Yeah.
But maybe not in the environment we're in.
No.
Let's start there. Let's start where we are. How do you feel about being here?
I am the Fall Guy.